Why this analytics has come into picture? Because the world is changing faster. The data is getting generated every second, every millisecond, and data science is at the heart of it. So now you must have heard of 6 V's of big data. So starting earlier, there were only 3 V's we knew. One was volume, variety, and velocity. But over time, we also have added veracity, value, and variability. Now, volume, variety, and velocity has it likes volume is the amount of data, variety is the type of data, and velocity is the speed of data, right? So we already somehow aware of that, but now we also have to look at veracity of data, because all the data gets generated, but is it the quality data? Can it be trusted? Okay, because there are a lot of data inaccuracies as well. So can that data be trusted? So that is another V that has come. Then the value that it's going to generate, the business value that that data is generating. Not every data is important, right? So it depends on what a business want to evaluate, is what we want to really uh, seek in terms of the data that we are collecting. Now, sixth one is variability. Now, variability is your data keeps on changing its pattern. Okay, so it could be sometimes you see a lot of upward movement, upward trend. Sometimes it goes down, right? So this variability has also come into picture. Okay, so now because of these nature of big data, we have now got 6 V's. Okay, few buzzwords that you must have heard, which is 2021 buzzwords. They are X analytics. Okay, I think Gartner has given that. So X analytics, nothing but, you can say text analytics, you can say image analytics, anything related to analytics. They have given a word as X analytics. Then you'll find a lot of noise around decision intelligence, data accuracy. Decision intelligence is nothing where but from on what we are producing on the data science, but when we also have our human kind of capability put into that, then we say decision intelligence. Okay, then data accuracy, we all know digital automation, self-service BI. Self-service BI is when you have a dashboard but it can be self-served. That means no one is sending you that dashboard, but you can yourself create your views. So as people get educated, they get more and more inclined towards self-service BI. Then NLP, we all are aware, predictive and prescriptive analysis, data workforce diversification, mobile analytics, cognitive computing. Now these are very, last three are very very new words that we have seen in 2021. Earlier uh, we were still going on, 2019 to 2020, we still heard of other, but these cognitive computing, mobile analytics, data workflow diversification, these are something which has come new. Why? Because now a lot of organizations have moved toward digital transformation. Okay, now the hot, so we always say, data science is the career of choice. Analytics is a career of choice in 2021. Although 2021 I have put it 2021, but it has been there for like 2019 that it is the most talk after career choice, right? But why it makes the choice? Why it becomes the most popular career choice? Why? The because the growth is expecting is 6.4% as a business. So globally, analytics business is supposed to grow by 6.4% and $97.3 billion by 2025. And only in India, it is going to be $3.03 million in 2019. Okay, which is already, we have already surpassed that. Average workforce in India experience lies is 8 years. Still, it is 8 years. So when you get into the workforce, you will find a lot of young crowd. You may find very Maybe if I look at organization across who are specific to analytics, I don't find people even crossing 45 years of age who's at the very senior level, right? So this average age it is 8 years, and 40% of whatever workforce we have are less than 5 years. Okay, so that is why it becomes more and more, career of choice, because people and students, they all feel that yes, we have more acceptability in this current choice. Now, I also put in some of the industry where you find a lot of analytics adoption. What kind of distribution you have in the analytics sector? Okay, so if you look at the job market, you'll find a lot of analytics industry are uh, located in Bangalore. Okay, which is also obvious, right? Because software industry, it was always there in Bangalore. A lot of technical people mindset was always there in Bangalore, so it also makes it the the best place for analytics adoption. Then comes Delhi NCR, and then Mumbai. Okay, so you find these three locations where you find a lot of analytics adoption, and hence a lot of job in the job market. Now, how a sector is distributed? So 29% are startups in this particular analytics industry. 33% are mid-sized companies, and large-sized companies are 38%. But we also need to think, why large-sized companies are 38%? Because still it since it's very new field, the companies who already grown to that size, either they are those companies who were there into IT or software business and then they have moved there, or somehow added one of the capability into their bucket, or they are those industries like who are really big, like Procter and Gamble, but now because of digital transformation they are adopting the analytics pretty easily. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, now coming to, so we have seen that why you, for you it is a right career choice, for young people why it's a career choice, but then also why company want analytics, right? Because it has to be supply and demand, right? Now companies want analytics because data has grown to many fold, right? Now it is like terabyte, gigabytes, so it's like huge data, zettabytes of data is there. And a lot of these companies have also exhausted their potential customers, right? So how much penetration you can do into the market, right? When you do marketing, if someone has if a brand has already established its customer, now how much penetration it can do, right? So lot of these things are already exhausted. Okay, now but business cannot stop. Okay, so then business has to look at new avenues, new way of finding their customers. Okay, new way of finding efficiency, new way of finding optimizing costs. So if you cannot have your profits coming from revenue, can you still continue your business by reducing your cost in certain areas? Okay, so your revenue is growing at a certain percentage, but can you target your cost to come down so that you are still achieving the profitability? Okay, so hence there are a lot of things a company want: eliminate manual tasks. So you must have seen, I don't know, you were still kids that time when um, computer came into banking in India, and earlier there were a lot of work done on registers, and huge paper was used. Then computer came and everything was moved to computer. Okay, so now we can even come very closer to your era where you have seen a lot of apps coming up. Okay, and the quickest, the easiest is Uber, right? Few years back, you used to have taxis, right? Now that has moved to a platform where now you can easily book your taxi. So that manual effort is gone. Now you don't have to get down, walk, find a taxi. Okay, you have it has gone to an automated task where you just click a button and then your taxi comes. Then second is so it also goes with introducing new technologies, right? So that is a new technology that has been given. It also improve user experience. Okay, for all of it to take place, company culture need to change. So as I gave an example of bank, think of it that a person, how would a person feel? What if computer comes, probably my job will go, right? So there's a lot of culture that has to change to adopt new technology, right? So that so these things are important when you drive a lot of transformation. You cannot ignore culture and people. Okay, then driving efficiency. Now if something was done manually, let's say a production that was happening manually, now it has moved to an automated operation. Then earlier you were producing 10 things, now you're producing 20 things. Okay, so you have increased your efficiency. Okay, and as I also said before, identify areas of cost saving. So cost saving, a typical thing that you can do is, can I eliminate my waste of production so that my cost is lesser, okay? So that I'm able to completely utilize my whatever material I have purchased. That's one way to reduce the cost. Okay, so this is the reason why companies also want analytics and digital transformation. I don't know if you've seen this chart before, but this is analytics maturity model. Okay, now what is digital transformation? This is one word that you'll hear a lot when you get into the industry. Anyone who's aware of digital transformation? And if not, you should really read. Yes. So what do you know about digital transformation? Yes, yes, you're right. You're right in a way. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely right. But again, this is not the complete truth. Okay, so digital transformation is everything. So if I say that your Excel report needs to change to a BI platform, Tableau. Everyone must have heard of Tableau, right? Power BI, Tableau. Yes. Okay. So if your Excel report needs to be transformed and should be on a BI platform, it's again a transformation, right? So now your report would be seen digitally, correct? But is it a simple process? It is not a simple process, because your Excel report, possibly it was coming from the data that is coming from multiple sources, right? Now your report would still tell you what has happened in the past, right? How was the performance? Typically what dashboards do, they tell you the performance. But how are those sources? Are they live? So when I say live, is it there, the data source available on the cloud or on the databases, whether it is available digitally? Okay, are you collecting that data and putting it in a source? If yes, then you can easily transform and move to a BI platform. If not, then first task would be to bring the data together, right? So in a lot of big companies, if you see, it is a major task that is going on right now, which is to make data lakes. And data lakes is nothing but it is moving everything on cloud, accessible to everyone, right? So still no analytics has been done, but this is one thing that is happening. Once that is done, then they would work on creating dashboards, how we can use that data. Then we can move to eliminating our Excel report, make it digital by on a Power BI or a Tableau dashboard. Once people get used to this, then they move to why something has happened. If they say my revenue has dropped from 10% to 5%, what are the reasons for that? Now, from this part, your statistics and analytics and data science start coming into picture. Okay, so the more upward you go, the automation, the decision making, the automation, everything becomes difficult. But but as farther you go, the value is also high. Obviously, where your Amazon, when they do a recommendation to you, it gives you more value, right? What to do. It's telling you what to buy. So it has gone to a cognitive kind of, analytics. What to do, what to buy, how to buy, how as in from whom to buy, right? Why should I buy? Because now you have purchased a laptop from Amazon. Now they will recommend you, why don't you purchase a cover for your laptop, right? Why should I buy? Because you have purchased a laptop. From where should I buy? These are the vendors providing you. What should I do? You should buy a cover. Okay, so that's the cognitive. But to reach to that stage, you have to make all your groundwork ready. Okay, so you when you get into the industry, you will find that lot of your clients, if you are in a service sector, or are still at a diagnostic or predictive stage. Okay, so something that I always talk to students, that do not go in industry from an impression, keeping that impression that I'll go and I'll just work and create recommendation engine, what it is there in Amazon. Practically lot of big industry, I'm telling you, I have worked in Maersk. Still we were at a descriptive and diagnostic space. We were still creating data hubs to centralize it. And Maersk is like a 150, 160 year old company, number one shipping company in that space. So still, but they are at a data hub creation stage. Okay, and lot of your Fortune 500 companies, unfortunately, are at their stage because their business is not analytics. Their business is something else. They are still adopting it, and for adopting, you have to first do your groundwork ready. That is why entry now into this industry will be much much fruitful than entering after years, because that time the industry would have already learned a lot of things, would be educated. There will be a lot of people in the market who have experienced a lot of these things. So entry would be difficult. If not difficult, then it would not be an issue. Okay, now how digital adoption happens. So I've already given you a brief that you have to do the groundwork. Suppose you already have you have your data on the hubs. You have already moved BI, and people are pretty aware of now how these things work and what is the value that is getting generated. But then now I have to create a roadmap. Now this is something that you will hear a lot when you get into the industry. Digital roadmap. What is the roadmap of adoption of a particular use case? Okay. So how it start? It start with an ideation. So if you're working in a product industry is nothing but like P&G or Johnson and Johnson's, anything which who create a product, right? So if you are into that kind of industry, then there will be some strategy that would give that what are the broader business changes that need to be considered for transformation. So these changes could be that they want to work on network optimization, they would want to work on campaign management, they would want to work on improving the efficiency in their production, or they would want to work better on the forecasting side, right? So full list of these playbooks are created. After that, prioritization is done. Now, prioritization can be done on a multiple ways. I have shown ease of implementation versus value. Why? Because ease of implementation itself have multiple things. One is whether that kind of data I'm really capturing. Like for example, if I have a playbook which require a competitor data. Do I really have that data? Right? If I don't have that data, then that cannot be a priority. Second, how much cost it will involve, right? So do I have the capability to produce something like that? So ease of implementation has a lot of things, and value is one. So if you say you have to invest $100,000 and your value would be $110,000, is it really worth it, right? So that is the kind of metrics on which prioritization is done. After prioritization, it is grouped. Okay, so that now grouping could be that one grouping could be that these are the phase ones. Phase ones would be my something on the cross sell side, something on the network optimization side, or grouping could be on the basis of value. That okay, these are the ones that would give me $1 million worth of value to $50 million worth of value. So something like that, they are grouped together, and then your digital roadmap is created using these things. Any questions so far? Okay, so now these are the few data science use cases I wanted to show you. I'm sure you must be aware of all of them. Facebook is a social analytics. Amazon improving e-com experience, right? I talked about recommendation. Uber optimizing rides. So Uber would tell you which route to go, which route not to take because of the traffic. Bank of America increasing customer, they have done a lot on increasing the customer experience when you buy any product of theirs. Airbnb improving search. So Airbnb is a revolution, right? It's you just search and then you find a place. So Spotify, how do they recommend music to you, right? As when looking at your history of music, whatever you have listened. All these are data science, famous data science use cases. Now these are the application in those industry. Okay, so if you go to e-commerce, manufacturing, banking, you'll find that these are commonly used use cases. Okay, um, e-commerce, identifying your customers, recommending product, analyzing reviews, right? Very common. It is very intuitive, right? You give review, they analyze review, whether some review is really important, whether something is not really important, whether they have to remove certain vendor out of it because the review has gone down. Okay, manufacturing industry, you must have heard of predictive maintenance. Okay, can I predict that my machine is going to get into problem? Okay, maintenance scheduling. Hence, if I can predict, I can also schedule that when my maintenance is due. Anomaly detection. It if there is something wrong, it would identify that anomalies. Anomaly detection, you'll find it cut across all the industry. You'll find a lot of use cases around anomaly detection. Fraud detection is a kind of anomaly detection only because fraudulent transactions are rare cases. Credit risk modeling, very important area where into risk domain, where you have to work on predicting default. It could be in the credit card, it could be on the banking, in the risk side where you have these loans going on. So, lot of work on credit risk modeling, customer lifetime value. So, when they give you credit card or when they give you loan, they also look at what is the lifetime value of that customer. Okay. uh, then in healthcare, um, healthcare is still something that not touched a lot, but there are a lot of use cases like drug discovery. Okay. uh, which drug is suitable for what kind of treatment. Then virtual assistants, you must have seen that, if you go to a hospital website, you will see some assistant coming up. Transport, self-driving cars. Unfortunately, in India, we don't have that many. But in transport, you have uh, car monitoring system, enhanced driving experience. In India or in some other part of the world, in transport, you have a lot of work around carbon footprint, sustainability, carbon footprint reduction. Now, for that, you have the how you can look at how the network is, what should be the speed of a particular carrier, um, what should be the perfect lane or a network for reducing the fuel consumptions. Then finance, again in finance, risk analytics is already there. Then customer segmentation. Okay? Then how do they segment customer and identify the most suitable customer for them. Okay. Let's now this one shows you what are the skills and profile that are there in the market. Okay. So in analytics industry, you'll find one is analytics consulting, where you have a service based industry. Then you have data engineering, data science. I have kept analytics in consulting separate because um, analytics consulting is very you'll find a lot of job in service sector, but data engineer you'll find in product industry as well as service industry. Data scientist again in all the industries. Okay. um, but there are certain uh, core values, thinking, that you need to adopt to have to excel in that field, right? In data science, you should have that problem solving skills. You should have statistics and machine learning, and you have a structured thinking. Apart from that, in data science, they also want you to work on optimizing your codes. Okay? Then you also need to have soft skills. Communication skills definitely very important. Then continuous curious. Your curiosity should never you know take a back seat. It should always be there because, as I said, it's an industry that is going to grow, and still it is a very early stage. So you'll find a lot of use cases. You have to be curious about solving new problem, and the clarity of expression, because um, you'll most probably will interact with people who have not worked in data science. Okay? So clarity of expression is very important. How do you keep your point forward so that a person who don't belong to that field are able to understand you? Okay. Then domain knowledge. Now people always ask that how do I gain this domain knowledge? Okay? But domain knowledge for growing, initially it is still okay, but for growing, domain knowledge play a very important role. You will not be able to solve a problem and you will not be able to interact with business if you don't have a domain knowledge. So you have to gain that over the period so that you can understand the problem, you can understand the process, you understand the KPIs. KPIs is like key performance indicators. So you have to understand it. Every domain has its own KPI. Okay? If you look at e-commerce, click-through rate, then number of searches, number of pages. So these are the ones which you won't find in any other industry. Okay, so it is very important to grow your domain knowledge. Rest you can find all the profiles. So you have business analyst, consultant, data scientist, data engineer. Normally, you'll find in the industry, data scientists and data engineers are typically engineers. They are from an engineering background. That is why I somehow always recommend people who have done their MBA not to look for a data scientist or a data engineering role. Okay, I have my reasons to talk about it, but then it's not you have to follow this advice. It's just that it's my experience because data scientists and data engineers are for the people who have come, maybe who spend their time in IITs and IITs, and they have spent that much time to get into that field. For a person who has done his MBA, his ideal path should be to go to business side rather than being on the more on the technical side, rather, or be at a techno functional side, but not as a core technical person until and unless it becomes your passion and you're really passionate about it. Okay. Any question on this? Okay. Now I've also added one of these slides. I don't know if it is you will be given some kind of Six Sigma training in your institute, but um, some institute they also provide Six Sigma certification. Now, Six Sigma certification would also open certain doors for you. These are the profile: project management program, operational excellence, digital transformation, process transformation, not quality management. So, why Six Sigma? Because it is heavily reliant on data analytics. So, if you look at DMAP, what they follow: define, measure, analyze. All this is about solving a problem. Okay. So with Six Sigma, it gives you additional framework to help you solve the problem and uncover all the deviation that you can find in it. Okay. So good choice. Uh, it's not mandatory to do Six Sigma. It would just open for newer role for you, uh, like process transformation side. So these people are not technical people. They are on program and they would just manage each and everything, but they have to identify the root cause, then they have to solutionize, and then they give it to their IT or analytics team to develop the solution. Okay, but this is also something that you can think of. Now, some points to consider when preparing for analytics career. Not everyone is, not everything is applicable to you because you are still in college. This is something I always show to everyone, even to my corporate trainings. Um, so I always say, don't rely on just coursework. Whatever you have learned in your college, don't just rely on that. Practice in contest. Participate. Participate in as many Kaggle competition as you can. Okay, and don't jump on learning multiple language. Take one and excel in it. Okay, contribute. So you'll find Stack Overflow. So contribute to those communities. Just start replying there. Okay, attend events. Try to network with people. Try internship. You are anyways your college provide you internship opportunity. If analytics is your career of choice, then look for an internship in that industry and then find a mentor. Rest others are for corporate people, but yeah, these are the ones which is applicable to you. Just start, practicing as much as you can. Okay, so this is up for me. You can see my official email ID up there. Tridents, we have a lot of people from IIM Ranchi in Tridents. Tridents come in your campus. In case you want to send me your resume, you can send it to me. I can refer. But yeah, it is only possible when you are about to pass your MBA. Okay. So anything, if you have any concern, anything you want to know, just send me a mail and I'll reply. Thank you so much. Now I'll open this for any question. Feel free to ask anything. Don't hesitate. I always say that no question is a stupid or idiot question. Every question is important, and I'm telling you, if you have that question, I assure you, 10 other people have the same question. So never hesitate to ask. Yes. Hmm. Okay. So I tell you a very basic thing. So if I have to, let's say, if I have to start segmenting my customer, okay, and I simplest is, you are a credit card holder, okay, and I'm a bank. I want to segment my customer because I want to give you another product, okay. Now I am collecting the information pertaining to credit card. I have all the data, but I don't have the data which is of other customers. Right? I don't collect that kind of data for my other product, or maybe a banking product. Okay, a banking as in, let's say, someone who is having a loan with us. Okay, I don't collect that data. People who are having savings account, I don't have that data. I have that data, but it is at a different location. How will I be able to identify my potential customer for another product and also to give credit card? Okay, so I need all this data together so that I'm able to identify my potential customer. What if you are a credit card holder and you also have a loan? Are you my potential customer for a loan? No, you are already having loan with us, but I cannot identify whether you are my potential customer because I don't have that information. So to do the right kind of analysis, I need to have the the all kind of data around the kind of problem I'm solving. Okay, that is the reason why many industries, when they started with their use cases, they realized that no, we cannot solve this problem because we don't have all the data needed. Okay, so you'll find a lot of companies who are still doing a lot of analytics, but now they have restricted their analytics to the data which is already there with them. Okay, so their problems, they could have solved 1,000 problems, but they are only solving 10 problems now. And parallelly, they are also creating data lakes or data factory to store all kind of data so that they can target other problems as well. Yes, yes. Yeah, Gayatri, I think this is a very good question. What I see that if you look at future, many companies would hire people in house. Okay, one of the thing you've already said that it is because of the data security, right? They don't want to share their data. Another thing is by that time they would have also realized a lot of value. Why they pay to the consultant? Because they don't have the capability within themselves, right? That is the reason they hire consultant. But if they work with consultant and they thought that yes, we are able to realize the value. Meantime, they are also getting educated, right? Because they are talking to consultant, they know that what they are doing, so they are also in the process getting educated, and hence they would hire. But there will always be a pool of companies who would need consulting, right? Not all the industry would become digitally transformed in one go, right? And it will not happen at one go. New companies would come. So if someone has started today, it will become old after 10, 15 years, and then they would go in with a consulting company and say, okay, this is what I want to do, right? So this is going to happen. It's just that how I see is this industry would get mature to that extent that the adoption become easy. So right now a lot of our problem is that clients do not see a lot of value in investing, right? So in and it all these things require investment, a huge investment, and they don't see that value. Hence, convincing clients, solving it becomes a challenge. But I think in future, by that time, they would have understood the importance of analytics, and um, they would not ask question around value creation, right? So yeah, answering to your question, you can find job anywhere, right? If you find that Mahindra or Bosch or product company is the right thing for you, go ahead. The advantage would be that you would grow a domain of your choice. In consulting, you may not get that choice. You may get into a CPG client, you go that domain. Probably next point of time, next year, you are working with a retail client. Okay, that is very much possible in any consulting industry. But within one product company, you will grow to that domain. So you will gain a lot of knowledge on domain. Any more questions? We still have a lot of time. Yes, Siddhant. My pleasure. Hmm. Um, I think I did not really understand your question. Can you make it a bit simple for me? Hmm. Oh, okay. See, I right now you are one of the premier. You are in one of the premier institutes, right? Hmm. So that is why. See, that is why I said it very specifically that an MBA student shouldn't get into a coding kind of job. Okay, um, that doesn't mean that a commerce student cannot become a data scientist. Okay, now if you want to really become something in data science, you can do courses, but I'm telling you, all these courses would teach you the same thing what your institute must have taught you. I'll be very honest with you. Their purpose is not to make you industry ready. Okay, so their purpose is just to teach you. But when you join as a data scientist in a company, you will find there's a lot of expectation. Okay, the expectation would be that can you optimize the code? No one will teach you how to optimize your code. No one will teach you that. I'm telling you. You will have to learn by experience. Okay, but again, if you feel that I still lack something, I need to do some course, I would rather say get some books. Okay, your college would give you a glance, or they would still tell you the pointers that okay, this is regression. Okay, they cannot go into deep, because if you get into depth of these things, each technique would rather take an year. Okay, so even they have to complete the course in 2 years time. So you have to, if you are finding something difficult to understand, look at YouTube. YouTube has a lot of knowledge. Look at books. Try to take part in Kaggle competition. Most of them are free. Okay, you would not get a rank, but then you will get that kind of experience. Doing another course for data science, it's not what I would recommend. It's your choice. You feel that someone else is teaching you better, do that. I would not recommend when you're already learned something and then learning it from somewhere else. No one is going to make you industry ready. That's why I said data scientists, an IIT or NITs, they have worked on coding for 4 years. Okay, so don't make them your competition. Okay, and that is also one of the reasons I showed Six Sigma slide, because some of us know. I personally, when I did my MBA and when I joined this company Swift, where I was doing a lot of data engineering work, and that time we didn't have digital transformation, we didn't have coding and all those things, but I was still doing SQL. Uh, so I that time I was like, what should I do? Okay, what should I do? Because I don't want to code. I don't come from that background. I was from manufacturing, right? I did MBA in finance, and then I don't want to code, so I did Six Sigma, and it gave me another perspective to it, that even there are fields where I don't need to code. I can solve a problem if I understand all the concepts, if I know a framework. So that is also one of the reasons why I show it, because lot of I see a lot of MBA students, they don't want to do coding, but they also want to get into analytics, and they don't know where to go, right? What to do so that I'm into this kind of field, and they end up making IITians their competition, and they fail because obviously you 2 years you never coded, right? You were analyzing business. So rather than making them their competition, get into an area which is your field where you excel, and you will excel where you are doing consulting, where you are doing business understanding. Like Gayatri said, how can I? Is it okay if I get into product company? Get into a product company, understand the process, or get into a consulting company as a consultant, okay, or as an analyst who would analyze the business, not create models. And over the period when you learn these things, you will create models also. But you are not getting into a data scientist kind of role. You are still close to business in consulting. You're talking to client. You are telling them this is going to solve your problem. Okay. So for me, your career path should be in sync with your MBA, not your engineering. Okay. Does it answer a question, or I confused you more, Siddharth? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So I don't know if you're aware of this. In Europe, you in Facebook, right? In India, they show your face, right? They can identify your face. In Europe, it is not possible. It is your it is absolutely not possible for Facebook to show your face. It is data insecurity. It's a privacy issue. Okay, so in such case, they take consent. Okay, they take consent whether we can take your data, and then they can use it. See, data privacy will always be there. If you look at banking, the first industry that adopted analytics is banking industry. Yeah, but it is the most data secure and that kind of industry as well. You don't want your information to go out. Still, that's the first industry to adopt it, only because their data has reached that stage that it cannot be solved using Excel and these small things. So they had no option but to move to digital, right? So that time they used to have a huge data centers where they used to store. Now they have stopped doing that. They also migrated to cloud. Lot of investment on data centers, right? So it is going to be there. Privacy issue would be there, but I think use cases would cut down. And as Gayatri mentioned about data privacy of a company, they would not give the use cases to a consultant. Okay, they would keep those kind of use cases within their own network. And even when you hire consultant, many of my clients, they give their own laptop, they give their access to the network, and you can work in their network only. You don't have your office normal office laptop. So if you're working on any model, you have to access their data. They will give you their laptop, and that laptop you cannot save, copy, mail, nothing you can do. You can only work. Okay, so that these are the few things that they will anyways do, right? If they have to get their work done. Yes. Wow, now I can see everyone except Siddharth, who gave me a very tough question. Okay, it's okay. Are you sure now no one has a question? Don't keep anything in your mind, okay? How many of you want to join freelance? Have you heard of it? It comes in your campus, no? Yes, it's a company that is growing. I have joined just recently in December, and good thing about the company is that they are growing. Firstly, they are growing like at an exponential speed, and second is they value the people a lot. So that is what one thing I really loved about it. When I was giving the interview, they they made me so comfortable. Everybody, it's not like just one person who made me comfortable. Everyone was like making me comfortable. My son was walking around and sometimes he was disturbing me, and they were like very okay about it. Okay? No fuss that why your son is there. They gave me break if I wanted a break. They were like, okay, if you wanted some break, then take a break. Look after yourself. So it's like that. And even when I work here, definitely lot of work, lot of work to do. But if you have some personal thing to attend, no one is going to question you. That is the best thing. If you say that I have to attend to something, no one is going to ask you why you want to attend. which is the best thing. If you want to take a leave, no one will bother you on your leave and they'll say, okay, you just do this work for me. Until unless like super, super, super urgent and it's like a matter of life and death. But people will not bother. So I personally like people a lot, and people matter. You will find when you get into the workforce, people matter. And some of you who have already worked in the past, they would give you that experience that when people are not valued, the culture is like very bad. All the time you feel unnecessary pressure, not of work, but even if you have to take a leave, you will feel, what should I say to take a leave? Should I tell them that today I'm not, I don't want to work? It happens, right? You don't want to work, so you can, but here you can say I don't feel like working today. But obviously, it shouldn't happen every day. Then it's a problem. But yeah, so it's good that way. Yeah, that yes, I'm new here, but so I cannot comment a lot about other things about the work a lot, but definitely this thing I can say. Not even one person I have talked, and I'm into their leadership team. So not even one person I have talked in leadership who talked to me in a tone which I not like. It was like so pleasant talking to anyone, and very entrepreneurial, kind of mindset. You take it like it's your business. So think of it, it's your business, and just grow us. It's like this. And I still remember my manager telling me, first day I joined, and not even first day, before I was about to join, I was like, okay, can you tell me the burning issues that you have so that I know that what first things I need to target. Then he said, see, uh, we have hired you so that you tell us what to do. I was like, okay. You have to tell us. What should I tell you? I won't tell you. You have to tell me what should we do. So yeah, I think this is one of the saying of what Steve Jobs. I think Steve Jobs said that we hire people not to tell them what to do, but they have to tell us what to do. So similar thing, my boss told me that you have to tell me, what should I tell you? You tell me what should I do. That is why we hire people here, and that's the mindset of everyone here in freelance. Yes, you have your elements here. One or two of them are working in my team. Thank you so much. All the best. It was really, really nice talking to all of you. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.